Hey folks, this is Ben back with you in the Midwest Model Shop. Okay, today we're doing a very lo-fi but simple announcement that I've always wanted to do, and that's 3 products, new products are released at the same time here. So we now have a 1/350th set of United States Navy sailors combo set. So you get some officers, pilots, gunners, and just regular sailors walking around. Perfect for any 1/350th scale aircraft carrier. Then if you just want some officers and then the gunners, like all with their helmets on and ready to go, I have a 1/350th scale officers and gunners set as well. They're just like the 1/200 scale stuff, but 1/350th scale. I finally got around to resizing it. It has all the features of the 1/200 scale stuff, comes in a cage. It's the same size bases, so they're easy to handle. It's just your figures are teeny, 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 tiny. But there's some good detail there. Links in the description down below. Check all this stuff out at www.themidwestmodelshop.com. Then we have, for the Titanic, the 1/200 scale Titanic, and I'm assuming this will work on the Olympic. I doubt that they've changed the shape of the hull very much. We have the C deck, the forward bulkhead, C deck bulkhead. An individual reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, hey, Shapeways is out of business. You can't get this anymore. Any chance you could make it? And I was like, well, you can buy it from Woody's Model Works. Neil Woods over in the UK. He sells them on maritimemodels.co.uk. That's where Neil's selling his stuff. And he has a photo etch kit, and it includes that bulkhead in there, and it's very nice and highly detailed, and that's what I used in my client's build. But I thought, well, if you don't want to order from him, and he's got some savings and deals going on right now, if you don't want to order from him, if you just want to a la carte order this one bulkhead, I'll make one. So I've done that. I've made a few improvements to it though, in terms of the kit that the part you could get from Shapeways. There were some things I thought you could do better. So huge shout out and thank you to my good buddies Phill and Matt. Phil came over and I said, hey man, could you do me a favor, because I don't have a model shop set up, I don't have good lighting, I don't have my paints out, everything's buried. Could you please paint these things for me? So he went ahead and dusted the figures in white, so we have some photos of them, and then he went ahead and painted the bulkhead white and then put the little masked red color down below. He didn't have the right colors for that or anything close, so he reached out to our other good buddy Matt, who did have the paints, and he supplied them. So without them, we wouldn't have these things available to see in like any sort of decent representation. So again, Phill and Matt, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All of you guys, please give them a shout out down below. Phil is a Vietnam veteran. He was a pilot in Vietnam flying the Caribous. He flew a bunch of other stuff for the Air Force. I'm sure he was involved in black projects that he won't tell me about. And then he wrapped up his career flying at United Airlines. Matt was in the music industry for forever. He's responsible for anything that you ever heard on the radio that was good. And then he currently is a rep for MRC. So his house is just a giant model shop, and I'm extremely jealous of that. But thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate your efforts. All right, so all this stuff's available on our website, www.themidwestmodelshop.com. Links in the description down below. Now what I'm going to do is just show you real quick how to take them apart, and we'll go over a couple of the details of those things. That's it. I'm working on the shop. The drywall's up. We're doing the mud and tape right now. I'm trying the best I can to get up and running here and building models again, because I need to. My soul needs it. So, all right, thanks guys. Let's get into it. All right, folks. So let's start off with the 2 figure sets. So this is the 1/350th United States Navy combo set, officers, pilots, sailors. And then this one is just the officers and gunners set. So they're basically the same thing. So we'll just open one up. And this is what you're going to receive. Basically just a big block. And what I want to do is flip this over in case you're not familiar. This is the base of each one of these figures, so that you have something to hang on to in terms of workability. So grab yourself a pair of cutters. This support cage, be careful. Don't knock your figures over, right? That would be bad. But basically, I just cut it loose anywhere that you can, and get this thing ready to hop out of the way. Okay, so when you're in a situation basically like this, where you've got a whole row exposed, the stuff going around the outside edge is pretty heavy duty. There wasn't a lot I could do to get away from that, but you can carefully snip it like so. And then what I recommend is get yourself an X-Acto knife, flip it over, and from the back side just score it. Run it through like that. That should be fine. Very carefully snap it loose, and now you have your figures here in a row, and you can put on your binoculars, your super magnifying magnifiers, so that you can see what you've got here, and you can paint them up. If you want to go ahead and separate them in individual pieces, this one's hard to do because it's got the back on it, but just, and you can get yourself just one if that's what you want. And as you can see, I'm able to hold them with my fingers, and that's kind of the idea here, is that you can put this on a stick, or you can use your tweezers like this if you want to hold them and maneuver them around however you want to paint them. And then I would leave them like this until you're ready to install them on your ship. So last comment about these is you should paint them white first. Spray paint a white primer. Just use your airbrush, and then, because otherwise the colors don't pop out, and they're so small that it just works better. I guess that's my big point there. All right, so that's how you handle those. Both sets the same. Let's move on to the Titanic C-deck bulkhead. Okay, so here's your Titanic C-deck bulkhead. This is what you're going to get. This is so you have some protection here in shipping, obviously the name, and I'm trying to save some resin and real estate. This is very easy to take apart, and basically what you should do is take your cutters and come along the bottom of everything right here at the base. Cut these right here. The little Y gantry shape, although cool looking, actually has a functional purpose. The resin gets droopy and it doesn't print very well and look very good unless you have some supports there. Alright, so once you get these edges done, come to the front and you've got the little V's, right? Put your cutter along the bottom there. They're coming loose quick, which is great. We've got a couple more here. That might be it, and then just lift it off. Now you have your bulkhead. And at this point, don't take it loose, because now you have a thing to hang on to paint. You can prime it up, get all your little details on, do all your little work. It sets up when you're done, and that's how Phil painted this one for me, my demo. He went ahead and just left it on here because you got something to hang on to with your fingers and you're all set. And when you're done, you can go ahead and just pop it off like that. You'll be fine. Maybe score those just to be safe. You might have to do a tiny bit of cleanup on the bottom. Let's talk about a few little things here, though, specifically. So you have the right shaped portholes. These are your two lamps that are on the outside of the hull right there. I copied them as closely as possible from the figures or the pictures. In CAD they look great. Turns out in real life they're really tiny. That's okay. This is how they were. The light kind of shined out from them from behind on the wall. On the front you have this little rail. This is a little, I don't know what they use this for, but I put it on here so that you don't have to worry about attaching it. It's set and ready to go. On top of here will go your rail cap. I did not put a rail cap on here, and the reason I didn't do that was I don't know what you're using. Are you using the kit parts? Are you using Neil Wood's photo etch parts? Are you using Pontos's? Are you using KA's? take their railing, whoever you're using, because you'll be running along the deck sides. You make a 90-degree turn here, and you'll continue straight across. So that way your railing matches. That's why I didn't go ahead and put that on there for you. On the back side, there's a lot of stuff happening here. So these are your storm shields, your little stanchions, more storm shields. It's all in place. There's this shelf at the bottom. That shelf matches the kit part, and what happens is when you stick this in, I think it's like B-deck, or yeah, B-deck like sits on it. Now I'll try and drag the ship out and show you what I'm talking about there. I've thinned this area. You've got this big rectangle. That's so that you could cut a piece of acetate and just lay it in there, and you can glue it in place without the glue drops being anywhere near the window openings, and then you get a nice piece of glass that you'll be able to see through from the other side that's not in the way, right? You also have two holes here and here. What are those holes? Those holes line up exactly with your lights on the other side. If you're choosing to light this thing and you want to just drill out those and have a little hole there so you get some ambient light through from the back, that's where you would do that from. Or you could go ahead and run a 1mm drill bit through here, and on the other side, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep this thing in focus. On the other side, you'll have a perfect little 1mm hole, and you can have your fiber optic line come out and round it off, and that will be illuminated as well. So that is the idea. Color, this is Phil just did. I'm like, just paint it white and put down like a flesh tone on here. I use Tamiya white, flat white, and then I use AK flesh tone. It will get you the color. That's what I've got on my ships. And then this thing just clips into position on the Titanic, and you have a correct bulkhead that's ready to go with some of the little details, and I think it looks really nice. So it's an improvement over the kit part. Everything is a little bit of a compromise, though. This is not as thick as the kit part up here in the top. It's a little bit thicker than photo etch, but it's closer to photo etch, so it's closer to being the real life thickness scale. This is meant to clip right into the ship and be a kit replacement part, but if you're using the photo etch sides from Neil, you may end up with a little gap over here that you may have to fill. I think I had to do that. It's not a big deal, but you know, I don't know what you're using, and I'm not gonna guesstimate by making multiple, you know, bulkheads that may or may not work for you. This is a big improvement over the kit part, and it works nice, and it's pretty simple. So that's it. It should work. I'm gonna guess right now that it will also work for the Olympic. I would be stunned if they were doing anything differently in terms of the hull. I think they're gonna reuse molds, but that's it. So again, thank you, Matt and Phil. I really appreciate you contributing to this project so we could get this out for everybody. Links are in the description down below to purchase all of these things, www.themidwestmodelshop.com. And yeah, feel free to shoot me a message if you've got any questions. So leave a comment. We appreciate it. And we'll see you all in the next one.